Well, let's talk about how a bill becomes a law. In the legislature, before a bill can become a law, a legislator has to submit a written example of the law that he wants to write. He sends it to the LRS department. Now, that's the Legislative Reference Service. Now, their job is to put it in a legal form where, and also to test it against existing bills and to scrutinize and make sure that it doesn't conflict with something we already have in force. And when they finish with the bill at the Legislative Reference Service, it goes over to the LFO, which is the Legislative Financial Office. Now, their job is to find out whether or not the bill will impact the citizens of the state or the state. Is it going to cost us money? Is it going to make us money? So once it clears both of those offices, the bill then goes to a committee. Now, the committee's job is really where all the work is done. It's where you have an opportunity to have your bill heard in a public hearing. It's where basically four things can happen in a committee. Number one, they can amend your bill. Number two, they can substitute your bill. Number three, they can kill your bill. Or number four, they can pass your bill. And to pass a bill, we typically say it gets a favorable report. Now, a favorable report moves on to the House floor. Once the bill gets to the House floor, it opens up for full debate of the entire body. Again, basically like a committee, only you have 105 people rather than 11 to 15 committee members. You have 105 members who have a chance to scrutinize the bill. And again, the same four things can happen. They can amend your bill to add or to make it a better bill, or to weaken the bill. They can substitute it to change the bill entirely. They can kill the bill by getting not enough votes to pass it, or they can do they can pass it. Now, there's two types of bill. A standard bill, just a regular bill, a law, would take a simple majority to pass. Now, that means that's 50% of the voting body plus one. But now, if we do a constitutional amendment, now that requires, that's a bill that will be on the ballot at the election time. Now, that requires a 3/5 vote, which basically in our legislature is 63 votes to pass. If it fails to get 63 votes, then it will fail. Once it gets through the House, if they pass the bill, it goes through the Senate. Now, the Senate basically does exactly the same thing we do. It has to go through the scrutiny of their committees, and it goes to the Senate floor for debate, and if it passes everything through the Senate, just like it did the House, it goes on to the governor's office. Now, when the governor gets it, of course, he's got a couple of choices. Now, number one, he can let it die and just do nothing on the bill. And number two, the governor can veto the bill. Now, if he vetoes the bill, it comes back to the House of Origin, where their job is they can amend the bill to what the governor wants, or they can override his veto. And to override a governor's veto, again, takes a 3/5 majority vote. So if they override his veto, it goes back to the governor. He has to sign the bill. And once he signs it, it becomes a law. So that's pretty much the process that we go through to get an idea that someone came up with for a law into a law and into the statutes of Alabama.